So what we have found basically is a massive expansion of ICE detention facilities. These hold rooms, there are at least 170 of them nationwide. A lot of them are in like field offices or, little rented spaces in strip malls. They are governed by different detention standards under ICE's own standards. They are not allowed to contain beds. They are not required to contain toilets. There needs to be access to running water at some point, but that can be a guard taking you. Um, Nobody is supposed to be held in hold rooms for longer than 72 hours. Until last June, the limit was 12 hours. They turned it to 72 hours at the same time that ICE tripled its arrest quota last last June. And as a result, people are being held in these facilities for much longer than 72 hours. We looked at data from, first of all, the data comes from the Deportation Data Project, which operates out of Berkeley. And they are data scientists who have basically, for a few years now, been FOIAing and subsequently suing the Department of Homeland Security to get their hands on this data. They should have, they're engaged in more litigation right now, so there's more data coming at some point. Right now, the data we have ends in October of 2025. We looked at the best data set goes from September 2023 to October 2025. So it allowed us to compare some Biden and Trump data. You are never going to catch me defending the mainstream Democratic Party's approach towards immigration, and you're never going to catch me saying that Joe Biden was not cruel to immigrants in some ways that he could have avoided being. I think that's just kind of the nature of the beast. But the difference between the Biden era data and the Trump era data is unbelievable. Um, in the last 16 months of the Biden administration, there were 281 people who were held in hold rooms for longer than 72 hours. In the first 10 months of the Trump administration, that goes from 281 to 5,011. So it's almost a 20 fold increase in these overlong detentions in these inhumane facilities. Anyway, this is a long way of saying there are 170 of them nationwide. This first became known like last October, November when the Deportation Data Project released some of this data. At that point, The Guardian briefly reported on it, but didn't dive into a lot of the specifics. And when we came along, we were kind of surprised to see the lot of this data had not been reported on yet. So we just kind of undertook to do it. We first reported on the 9 hold rooms here in Colorado, and the 2,800, 3,000 ish people held in them last year. And then we expanded that to the 170 hold rooms around the nation and the 140,000 people held in them last year.